Welcome to Story Orchard, where every tale grows into something unforgettable and every word helps you grow your English. Before we dive into today's story, tell me, do you enjoy listening with a cup of coffee or is tea your thing? Here, we don't just tell stories. We help you discover new words, improve your English, and take you right inside the world of the story. So get comfortable, relax, and let's begin today's journey together. It was a quiet evening in the small town. The sun had just dipped behind the horizon, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange. The world seemed calm, but inside Sarah's heart, a storm was raging. Sarah was only 19. She had always been shy, quiet, and careful with her feelings. But tonight was different. Tonight, she was going to meet Daniel. Daniel wasn't just any boy. He was the one she had secretly admired for years. The boy with the warm smile that made her heart skip a beat every single time. The thought of seeing him made her palms sweat. Her heart raced like it was running a marathon inside her chest. She kept whispering to herself, "It's just a walk, Sarah. Just a simple evening walk, nothing more." But deep down, she knew it wasn't just that. Daniel, on the other side of town, was equally nervous. He had been waiting for this day for so long. He had imagined it 1,000 times in his head. Walking beside her, talking to her, maybe, just maybe, kissing her for the first time. But the moment he thought of kissing her, his courage seemed to vanish. What if she didn't like it? What if he messed it up? What if she pulled away? They finally met near the old park bench under the big oak tree. The air was cool, carrying the faint smell of roses from the nearby garden. Sarah smiled nervously, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Daniel waved awkwardly, scratching the back of his neck. "Hey," he said, his voice cracking just a little. Sarah giggled softly, and that giggle melted away some of his fear. But it also made his heart pound even faster. They started walking, slowly along the path, talking about silly things, laughing at small jokes, pretending that everything was casual, but inside, both of them knew something bigger was waiting. Something both exciting and terrifying. Every time their hands brushed against each other, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Daniel's fingers twitched, as if they wanted to hold hers, but he pulled back at the last second. The silence between their words grew heavier, the kind of silence that carried unspoken feelings, and then it happened. Daniel stopped walking. He turned to face her. His eyes searched hers nervously, as if asking for permission without saying a word. Sarah froze, her heartbeat so loud she thought he could hear it. The world around them faded, and all she could see was him. His eyes, his nervous smile, his trembling lips. And then Daniel leaned closer. Sarah's mind screamed 1,000 questions. What do I do? Should I close my eyes? Should I move back? What if I do it wrong? Her body froze in the middle of it all. She didn't know whether to breathe, smile, or run away. And just like that, their lips touched for the very first time. It was clumsy, hesitant, too quick. Sarah almost bumped her nose against his. Daniel tilted his head the wrong way at first. Their lips pressed together awkwardly, making both of them instantly aware that this was nothing like the movies. Daniel pulled back too soon, his face turning bright red. I'm sorry," he blurted out, covering his mouth with his hand. Sarah blinked in shock. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment, but then she started laughing. Not a soft laugh, but the kind that echoed through the park, breaking the awkward silence. Daniel stared at her in confusion. "You're laughing? Was it that bad?" Sarah shook her head, still laughing, wiping tears from her eyes. "No, it wasn't bad. It was just different, awkward, but kind of perfect, too." For the first time that night, Daniel smiled with relief. His shoulders relaxed as he joined. Her laughter, They both laughed together, standing under the oak tree, realizing that maybe awkwardness wasn't something to be ashamed of. Maybe it was part of what made this moment real. Daniel and Sarah stood there under the oak tree. Their laughter slowly faded, but the smile on their faces stayed. It wasn't a perfect kiss, but maybe that was the beauty of it. It was real, imperfect, human. Sarah looked down at her shoes, still smiling shyly. She whispered, "So, that was our first kiss?" Daniel chuckled nervously, scratching his head. "Yeah, not exactly like the movies, huh?" She looked up at him, her eyes sparkling. "No, better, because it's ours." Her words hit him like a wave of warmth. For the first time, Daniel felt the fear melt away. He realized that Sarah wasn't expecting perfection. She just wanted honesty. They continued walking along the park's path, but now something had changed. Their steps were slower, their words softer, and then finally their hands brushed together again. This time, Daniel didn't pull back. He gently slid his fingers between hers, and Sarah squeezed his hand tightly in return. That simple act spoke louder than 1,000 words. It wasn't just about a kiss anymore. It was about connection, trust, the beginning of something new. The night grew darker, and the stars began to shine above. Sarah looked up at the sky and whispered, "Do you ever wonder why the first time is always so scary?" Daniel thought for a moment. "Because it matters," he said softly. "If it didn't matter, we wouldn't be so nervous. We wouldn't care about messing it up." Sarah nodded slowly, his words sinking deep into her heart. When they finally reached Sarah's house, they stopped at the gate. Neither of them wanted the night to end. Daniel hesitated for a moment, then said, "So, can I try again? Maybe kiss you properly this time?" Sarah's cheeks turned pink, but she nodded. "Yes, but no pressure. Just be yourself." Danielle smiled nervously and stepped closer. This time there was no rush, no clumsy head tilt, no bumping noses. Just a slow, gentle kiss that made both of them close their eyes and forget the world around them. It wasn't awkward anymore. It was tender, sweet, a kiss that carried a promise of many more moments to come. As they pulled away, Sarah whispered, "That one felt like the movies." Daniel grinned, still holding her hand. "Good, because I've been waiting for this scene for a long time." They both laughed again, but this time it wasn't awkward. It was joyful, natural. From that night on, everything between them changed. Their friendship blossomed into something deeper. They started sharing more secrets, more dreams, more fears. There were still awkward moments. Daniel forgetting what to say when he was nervous. Sarah giggling too much when he tried to be serious. But those imperfections became the little things that made their story unique. Weeks later, while sitting on the same oak bench where it had all started, Sarah asked softly, "Do you ever regret our awkward first kiss?" Daniel shook his head instantly, not for a second. Because if it had been perfect, it wouldn't have been us. And I don't want perfect. I just want you. Her heart melted at those words. She leaned her head on his shoulder, whispering, "Then that kiss will always be my favorite memory." Life is full of firsts. Your first step, your first job, your first love, and yes, your first kiss. They are rarely perfect. They're messy, awkward, clumsy. But that's exactly what makes them special. Because perfection doesn't create memories, imperfection does. The mistakes, the nervous laughter, the shaking hands. These are the things we carry with us forever. So don't be afraid of your firsts. Embrace them. Because one day you'll look back and realize those awkward beginnings were the most beautiful parts of your story. Share your thoughts in the comments. And tell me, where in the world are you listening to Story Orchard from? I love reading all your messages. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, Make sure to subscribe to Story Orchard because every day a new tale and new words are waiting for you. See you in the next episode. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep imagining.